top of the food chain, rockin' with a rat tail. King sanitation, covered at the trap mail. Murderous assassins, harassment of blackmail. How you think I made it in the game? It's a rat tail, never made a black belt.
Yo guys, what is going on? Timpers here, and in today's video I'll be talking to you guys about the best ways, top 3 ways you guys can start your YouTube banner. So basically I'll just be telling you guys different ways you can start a YouTube banner to make it look better. So the procedure that it'll take in 3 different ways. So I hope you guys do enjoy this video, and if you do, make sure you smash the like button. Can we hit 60 likes on the video today? That would really mean a lot. And with that being said, let's get started. So the first one, guys, that I'm going to talk about to make your banner look good from the start is basically just adding highlights and stuff and making a really clean background. Now this one's probably the easiest way, so I'm going to put this in the number 3 spot. So basically, guys, the first thing you want to do is create a background. So you want to choose a colour, and I'm going to go with something different, maybe a greenish, bluey colour, something like that. I usually go with the blue, so I'm just going to press Alt Backspace on a new layer like so. And then once you've done that, you want to add a new layer, and then you just want to add a white. So you just want to go to the top and add a white. Make sure you've got your rulers up. Control R to get your rulers up, guys. And then once you've done that, you want to add a new layer and go down to the bottom and click twice over here and twice over here, and then change that to overlay. And then once you've done that, add a new layer, and then you want to go to black, and then you just want to go around the outsides like so, and then bring down the opacity. So you should get something like that. And then what you can do, guys, is add a new layer again and bring it just above the bottom layer, and then go to a colour like the one you've chosen. So I've chosen green, so I might choose like a bluish colour now. And then what you want to do is kind of, you just want to add some little spots of blue in some places, like so. Nothing too much, just a little subtle effect there. And then you want to bring down the opacity to about, let's say, 40%, depending on how much you actually add. But yeah, that's basically the background done. It's really easy to do, but the last thing you guys want to do is just go and make sure it's on white, add a rectangle, and then make sure you've just got a little strip at the bottom like so. Change that to overlay and then rasterize it, and then hold Alt and click and drag it to the top like so. And then you want to group them both together, and then you just want to make sure they're both on overlay, and you kind of want to rub away over here, and then rub away over here. So you got something like that, and then you can bring down the opacity a bit. So basically that is the number 3 spot on how to start a YouTube banner. And now let's move on to the number 2. So guys, in the number 2 spot, we are basically gonna get a picture off the internet and then basically add like highlights and stuff to that picture. And I think that's a really cool way to start a YouTube banner. So I'm just gonna type in HD City wallpapers, like so. And you need to make sure that they're good quality pictures, so maybe something like that looks good. And then you can either save it, or you can just right click and copy image, and then press Ctrl V to paste it in like so. Make sure you've got a white background as well, guys, so just fill that in like so. Alt Backspace, and then you want to make sure the picture is all the way sized up to match the banner size like so. And you can move it around, it's up to you guys. I think I'm just going to keep it like that. And then you want to press Ctrl U, bring down the saturation to 0, and then you want to bring down the opacity a bit to around 40% like so. And then once you've done that, add a new layer, and then go to like a greyish colour, something like that. And you want to go around the outside. Now this is a really cool way, guys. It just looks really cool in my opinion. I've not done a tutorial on this, but basically this is top 3 ways on how to make your banners look better, and it just looks cool. So I'm just going to bring down the opacity to around 85%, and then add a new layer, go over to the white, and then right in the middle you want to add a white like splash, whatever you want to call it, and then add another layer, and we're just going to go down to the bottom now and add some little white dots in certain places, and then I'm just going to change that to overlay. And then we're going to add one more layer. In fact, we'll add 2 more, so we'll just do this. Add a white like splash at the bottom, if you want to call it that, and then you want to go to the black, and then right at the sides just add like a darkish little streak going down, and then bring down the opacity to around 30%, and then that's basically the next way on how you guys can make your banners look better. And if you guys do want, you can add some CCs, like maybe bring up the brightness and contrast, like so. You can, if you want, you could bring up the curves and make it like an S shape, because this does look really cool in my opinion. Exposure, you could do that if you want as well. But that's basically the number 2 spot on how to make start a YouTube banner. It looks really cool, we can bring down that. And now guys, let's move on to the number 1 spot of how to make, how to start a YouTube banner. So in the number 1 spot on how to start an awesome YouTube banner is basically we're going to use the same picture that we used in the number 2 spot, this city wallpaper, and you want to make sure it's on 0 saturation at 40%. And we're just basically going to leave it like that, apart from we're going to add a white stroke at the very top, like so, like this. And then we're just going to leave it like that, and we're just going to work on the text. Now this is a really cool way to make it look really clean if you've just got a normal background, but you make sure you put work into the text instead of the background, like so. Like this, it looks really cool. I'm going to change the font to something called Knool, like so. I'm just going to change it to that. Bring the size up a little bit. I've got mine on 88. And then I'm going to make the first like word for your, I'm going to make that something like extra bold and make name medium. So I've got something like that going on, it looks pretty cool. And now you want to make it a dark colour, you don't want to make it black, maybe a bit before. I've got it on the hex code 111. And I think that looks really cool. But once you've done that, make sure it's right in the middle like so. And we're just going to leave it like that basically, but we're going to add official channel of. I'm just going to make this a bit smaller. So just click and drag this down like so. And then once you've done that, you should go over to here and then bring this out a bit so it increases the spacing of the letters. And I think this gives it a really cool effect, guys. And then just put it right in the middle, just above the text. And you should get something like that. And then if you want, you can bring it down, but if you hold Alt and then bring it down and then change it to be sure to subscribe or something like that, it looks really cool. And then you can just put it right in the middle, and then you've got that effect going on, and this makes it look really clean, guys. If you're going for if you don't want like too much effects going on, which I know a lot of you guys do like having a lot of effects, but if you just want a clean banner like this, you can do this because I think it looks really cool. And what you can do, guys, if you want as well, is underneath get some like social media icons. Now I'm just going to quickly go over to my GFX pack. If you guys don't have it, make sure you go check it out. It's one of my it's kind of new now, it's my 2K GFX pack, so just go check it out. I'm just going to go over to social media icons. I'm going to choose the coloured ones because I think it'll look better for this banner. So something like this. Get these 4 out because you know they're pretty popular. And now I'm just going to bring down the size of them more by pressing Ctrl T and just moving it down. That's a bit big. Something like that, and then I'm just going to make sure the spacing's right. So I'm just going to use the rulers and put it below them all. Snapchat can go over here. And then Twitch can move over a bit. So that's basically it for that. I'm just going to scroll out a bit. So yeah, guys, that is that for the number 1 spot on how to make a really clean banner. So this is the top 3. I hope you guys did enjoy this little quick video on how to start a YouTube banner in like 3 easy ways. It looks really cool. If you want to see more like this, smash the like button like I said. Subscribe if you're new. Comment down below what you want to see in my next video. And guys, I might be streaming tonight. I'm not sure, but hopefully I will do. And if I do, I'll tweet it out on Twitter. So make sure you go follow me on there. And with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.
Ain't no mercy, ain't no mercy.